thinking or strategic thought, like the Emir or the Sheikh in Dubai said, there's no problem in staggering and putting checks and balances. You see, that's what we're trying to point out is that we quit thinking a long time ago in Africa. If we sit down and start thinking afresh, we come up with solutions that don't necessarily have, you don't have to have seen it practiced in America before or in UK or Czechoslovakia or whatever. It will be novel to Nigeria, and by the time you establish it, you set a pace for the rest of the world.
Let me come in here. You know, this electoral act that Mr. President refused to sign took into account all the complaints as found in the judgments the past 7 years. All the judgments. Because there's always one problem or the other that will lead to a victory that was not merited. So they put all of them there. Now, Mr. President has refused to sign it. In a sense, he's saying, go back to what you were doing before. So all the complaints are there because that trust issue is there. Trust issue of the person who is up. In other words, somebody must lead it. You mentioned WhatsApp, Facebook. We're very happy, we're very contented. I will send to you money, everything. And when it comes to elections, we have a problem. The problem, of course, starts with INEC first, the umpire, and of course with the security backup, especially the police and the state security. People don't trust them. These days they say vote and go home. They said, no, I'll be here. And see how you will now give, and then they'll take a picture of it. They take a picture of it. The problem is that INEC will not accept that their picture. It's only the one brought by their own man. It happened in Osun, it happened in Ekiti.
Let's look at the campaigns now. So they've all started the campaigns in different parts of the country. They're going from state to state, from ward to ward. Some have chosen to go from house to house. Some have chosen to gather in town halls. But the mega rallies are still happening. Is it not possible? Because the ones that are going from house to house, I've not heard, or we've not heard of anyone going from house to house where there's violence. It's almost always at the mega rallies that the violence occurs. So must we have the mega rallies?
Oh yeah, no, mega rally will always be there. It depends on their own status. For instance, we have about 50 presidential candidates. Not all of them, people even remember their names. But they must campaign at any level they can afford. I can't see Obieze Ekwesili filling the stadium because she doesn't have the money to go and send buses to go and bring the people. Now, the two mega parties, PDP, APC, they can afford to fill stadium because one, money is there. And politics follows the money trail. As it's going, see how many people. And what of the thugs? A thug is ready to lay down his life. He follows the money. I will die you, I will kill you. And at times they kill to show you that they have the capacity. Not because of any threat. The one that happened in Lagos the other day. Of course, Ambode, someone, all of them had gone. But the people continue shooting. Who are they shooting? With police standing by watching them.
Something brilliant he's just said now that I think is pertinent is the fact that in reality, the so-called mega rallies are a commercial affair. Now, if a proper report proves that, we know that politicians must always connect with people on a one-on-one, it is good. But if in the Nigerian instance, we are looking at the value of life above, you know, is it not possible for us to work innovative situations where we create so many platforms for them to meet with people that are digital, first of all, and then the occasional mega rallies where we don't even allow rent a crowd to the degree to which it's done now.
Would it be strictly on invitation?
Who is going to enforce that?
Let me say something about the mega rally. Let me say something about the mega rally. So please, sorry, sir. Yes. The mega rally is to make a statement. That's all that it does. It's just to, if you organize a mega rally, the volume of people, the number of people that attends, speaks volume, according to them, of your chances.
And the same people will follow the next person.
That's what I say.
The money
so
is
it is our psyche in the society. And I think that just as the one-on-one could work, and that would minimize thuggery. It's just that when they even go on one-on-one, it is not one-on-one. They go in convoy.
They go with their thugs.
I didn't say that, but they go in convoy on one-on-one.
We
And
are
I
reading
also
between
want
the
to
lines.
say, yes, sir. I also want to say here that innovations will start. It has even started. Let's be very realistic here. Before 2015, elections were totally different in this nation. But before that 2015, the government in power decided to look for a credible head of INEC in Professor Jega and whatever. And the interference, I don't know, but I think it was minimal. All right? And when the elections took place, somebody accepted it.
Even before the results were announced.
Accepted that I have lost. That's an innovation. It's something that has not happened
Before.
in a very long time.
Never.
Yeah, in this part of the world. Therefore, we should have improved on that.
I agree.
Going forward, saying that, okay, we've been able to do something that is close to 60% of credibility.
Of the ideal.
And then let's move on.
We can't judge yet until the elections take place.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Be careful here.
Well, I'm saying that. Sorry, Pastor. It is, what I'm saying is that we could have moved from that. You know, we tried electronic voting and whatever. We have a lot of Nigerians abroad. Why are they not voting? We have a lot of Nigerians who have now become 18 and above. You know, why can't we start pilot when we had Osun State and Ekiti State? Why didn't we just say, let's do electronic voting and see how well, look at the flaws, and then improve on it on this. It is late for now, but for those who will be doing 2023, we should start it now, and we should be improving on the voting pattern as well as campaign. I think the campaign period is short.
Okay. All right. Closing moments. Let me just read these tweets so that you can respond to them and we close. Kafi Dikbe says, as long as poverty is not addressed, there will still be thuggery and vote buying in our elections. Truth. Charles Nzete says, increased focus on nonviolent communication is cardinal in achieving violent-free elections. Tijani says, honestly, 100 years from now, we will be talking about this same thing, blaming winner-takes-all syndrome, lack of political will, or corruption for our deliberate move to perfidy. Until we reform to parliamentary democracy, we will just be wasting our time. Prince. Facebook is hacked and cloned. Networks are jammed. Passwords are hacked. It is all about trust. Sharafa says, electronic/digital voting will only work in the major cities. What does an old woman in Uran local government area in Akwa Ibom State know about digital voting? Finally, gentlemen, Ladi Fortune says, I'm supporting Mr. Likwede. We don't trust ourselves. Even the president doesn't trust the House of Assembly. That amends the electoral bill. So, gentlemen, in closing.
In closing, I would rather ask the people, your governor, does he stand for violence or is he a statesman? Here we're talking of the best results and the elections and the way forward for the country. The parties are talking of winning elections. So if you are telling them about being a gentleman, they feel threatened. But we say, for how long are we going to do that? If you must use a thug, use your own son, so that the bullet will land on that son, and then you appreciate the value of life. If you must be in charge of education in this country, let your children be in Nigerian universities. If you must be president of this country, you must have a circle of honest people around you, not praise singers.
Okay. Mr. Thompson.
Well, maybe for me, let me just base my experience from the little I remember of the Western region. Impossible was a word that we did not understand in the Western region of old. And if Nigeria is ever going to make it, we need to make a quantum leap away from where we are to the forefront, to frontiers that no other country has ever been to before, which means that leadership is still the crucial issue.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to say here that, please, this is not worth dying because of politics. You don't need to lay down your life for any politician because he will not be there for you thereafter.
Okay.
Good place to
Hello.
anchor it.
Hello. Let me read this one for this guy that's watching from Ghana. He says, I live in Ghana. Do you know how many wanted criminals in Nigeria that live in Ghana? This year alone, 80% of these people are back in Nigeria for election business. So what are we talking about? These criminals live in Ghana but cannot operate in Ghana because of the method of crime fighting in the general public responsibility. It's a general public responsibility. That's from Diamond Roland from Accra.
Okay. So all I have to do now is to thank our panel, Pastor Laddie Thompson, a security expert, Chief Godi Uwazirike, political analyst, and Mr. Yonju Likbede, former local government chairman, Abeokuta South, Ogun State. Thank you all very much for coming to share this very interesting time with us this morning. We'll just take a short break, come back, and have another interesting conversation. Do join us.